What if I can't find a house? A short story by Fatemeh Zarei. I had lost my mind and rented a horrible house in an awful neighborhood. Why? Just because there was the sea at the end of this misshapen neighborhood. My crying sobs wouldn't stop. Well, it has what it has. What does it have to do with me? What kind of a place is this that I've taken? What have I done to myself? I don't want it. No, I don't want it. Now, what should I do? Girl, was there a shortage of places? Oh my God. I blew my nose hard into the corner of my pretty flared skirt because my sleeves had no more room, soaking wet and snotty. The house is so terrible, I can't even tell you. It's enormous, and they have spent all their size on one side, long and narrow like a ridiculous hallway. Oh, it's the most absurd house ever built in the world. Neither I nor you nor anyone else has ever seen its equal. Damn it, it's like a grave. Oh. I'm afraid I'll die from too much crying. I've buried myself alive with my own hands. Did you see what a mess I got myself into? I have to enter the house from the kitchen to the bathroom, then the room, then the corridor. The parts of the house are all lined up like prayer beads. Plus, it's dirty and old. It has no mirror anywhere. Oh, it has no mirror. Just imagine, I'll do my makeup without a mirror, and God knows what I'll look like. My crying won't stop either. It keeps dripping and pouring over my dear face. What else can happen? Besides, I miss myself. I can't even look in the mirror to cheer myself up. Oh dear God, oh. Plus, the landlord, Haji whatever his name is, keeps glaring at me. Every time he passes through the long courtyard, he says, God forgive me. Even his son has warned me about my hijab. I decided to do something for him in the courtyard one day. Never mind what I want to do for him. Let this damn crying stop first. I know what to do with this stupid boy. He is so pathetic that I pity him. Damn it. The first time I left the house, I got lost. I walked through the dirty and broken alleys, sobbing and crying. I didn't hold back at all. In that ruined neighborhood, I didn't see even one familiar scene, a store, a tree, or a house that I felt I had seen at least once. There needed to be a decent person to ask. The crying had also worn me out. At one intersection, some people were standing. I couldn't take it anymore and burst out, roaring, I'm lost. Does anyone know where my house is? They said, give a name, an address, or something, and maybe we know. I said, the sign is that it's the most ridiculous house in this neighborhood and has an evil owner. They all said together, yes, we know, and answered without hesitation, at the end of the next alley. I knew it was at the end of somewhere, but I only recognized the house once it opened the door for me. When the door opened, I saw the same long, misshapen courtyard and the same crooked, hunched toilet at the end of the yard. My sobbing cries rose. Oh no, this is the same damn house. Zat, the spinster daughter of Haji what's his name, kept nudging me to be quiet, lower my voice. She was acting like a nasty landlady. I had no patience for this one at all. I told her I don't listen to someone whose name has no head or tail, and what it means needs to be clarified. I let out louder sobs than before. She took a card from her pocket with a picture on it, and under it said Zat. She said, in this neighborhood everyone has an ID card. So you shut up and don't keep braying. You have a proper name, but you don't have a card. No matter what you do, your shame won't be washed away and will stick to your forehead. So shut up. I raised my voice and let out sobs. I didn't understand what she meant. I didn't even try to understand. She said anyone with a card can do whatever they want with a valid excuse. I didn't consider her a person at all. She took another card out of her pocket and showed it to me, and then another card. A bunch of picture cards of one person with different looks and names. Under each picture was written a name appropriate to it. All the faces were dirty, loose, and criminal-looking. His real name was Mr. Beard. For example, under a picture in which he had a black mask, it was written, Thief Mr. Beard, the one chewing a cigarette, Thug Mr. Beard, and so on to the end. I realized he was the neighborhood thug who had committed all kinds of crimes and was notorious for every type of wrongdoing. Did you see? Now shut up and keep quiet. I raised my voice and let out sobs. I passed through the hallway and went inside. I saw the room on the left was now on the right. The closet that was on the right was now on the left. The faucet had changed its place. Oh, what should I do? Wah wah wah, everything in this house has feet and keeps moving around. Wait, let me see, why has everything changed to the opposite left and right? When I reached the end of the house, the kitchen, I saw another door that opened to the end of another alley. Aha, so I knew the house from another door, which is why I'm confusing the left and right of the house now. I had gotten lost from this door and was found from the other door. I went back to the courtyard. The master's son was in the middle of the yard. I tightened my hijab but didn't lower my crying voice at all. I waited for Haji to come to the courtyard. As soon as he set foot in the courtyard, I jumped and hugged his son tightly, the one who had warned me. So that the master would think the son had forcibly hugged me, he cursed us a lot and started a fight with his son. It immediately occurred to me that next time, I should hug the master himself so that he would stop fighting over these things. Someone has to make him understand somehow. The son fell in love with me in the middle of the fight as he struggled to free himself. He shouted, "You shrew, let me go," and he kept pressing himself more and more against me. Zat kept showing me her card like a soccer match referee. Even if she had 100 more cards, she had a disability to me because of that ridiculous name. I cried all night with the lights off. Zat kept saying from the upstairs window, "Shut up, you jobless girl. Tomorrow is a new day, a new start." I woke up to the sound of my own crying mixed with snoring, which turned into an ugly sound. Just as messy and chaotic, I ran out the door. Again, it was the same dirty neighborhood, with the same peeping eyes that kept looking at people. I got lost in the neighborhood, like yesterday. I went towards the sea with sobbing cries. Damn it, even its sea was strange. At the end of a dead end, instead of a wall, there was the sea so that it was visible several meters deep under the water. Like a large cake that has been sliced, the underlying layers can be easily seen from the cross-section of that slice. It was obvious that a mermaid lived down there. A flat coral rock resembling a table with some notebooks and things next to the mermaid that I couldn't quite make out what they were. Until a crooked man with extraordinarily long arms came with his cart to the water's edge. With his cart, more broken down than himself, he went to the edge of the roof of the last house at the end of the alley, and from up there, where the water's surface was visible, he emptied the entire contents of the cart into the sea. I was watching from down here, from the sea's cut section. The things he poured into the water looked like pieces of paper the size of a palm. When I looked closely, they all looked like the cards that had shown me. They slowly went down to where the mermaid was. The mermaid took the cards individually, washed them in the water, and put them on her coral table. I went forward and said to her, "Hey girl. Who are you? How beautiful you are." She put her finger to her lips as a sign of silence. Influenced by her beauty, I obeyed without question and continued with a soft sound of crying. A few minutes later, I saw the cartman standing beside me. I didn't realize when and how he had come down from the rooftop. He stood there until the mermaid's work was finished. It was strange. His arms were so long that he would throw them around his shoulders like a scarf when idle. Indeed, if he let them go, they would reach the ground. It was as if he was hugging himself. He was very distorted and ridiculous. The mermaid washed all the cards, gathered them, stood before us from the cut surface of the water, and threw them out one by one. The man also caught them one by one like a soccer goalkeeper and threw them back into his handcart. Arms that long are useful somewhere. They had done all this yesterday, too. When the guy left with his cart, I asked the mermaid, "Hey, what are you doing?" "I'm wiping people's daily sins off their cards." "Is that so?" That's why Zat was bragging to me about her card. Then the mermaid swam towards me like yesterday and popped out of the sea's cut. She swam out of the water and continued moving between the earth and the sky. I don't know whether to say she was swimming or flying in the sky. She went higher and higher. I shouted and said, "Wait. Where are you going?" She had gone very far. In a voice that was hard to hear, she said, "Home." As I looked up, I ran after her. A few drops of water with silver sequins fell on my face. I followed the sequins for a few steps and ran after her, but she fled and left. She went so far that I lost her. My return was the same as it had been yesterday, the night was the same as last night, everything was the same as it was except for one thing. This time, I caught Haji What's his name himself in the middle of the courtyard. He was grumbling and farting and waving his finger at me and threatening me with curses. I jumped and hugged him. My arms couldn't reach around him, he was so fat. I wanted to say something in his ear, but I didn't. I just spat in his ear. The Hajj's son was also watching me from behind the window. One of his hands was on his chest through the torn collar of his shirt, and with the other hand, he blew me kisses and kept saying, "Observe your hijab, for God's sake, observe it." Crying, until morning, I had to wear all my clothes on each other and go to the sea. My crying was so intense that the sleeves of all the clothes were not enough for my nose. I waited by the water until it came. As soon as I saw it, I said, "Mermaid! Mermaid! Where are you going that you suddenly disappear and vanish before my eyes?" She put her finger on her lips again. I said, "Okay, I won't talk, but please forgive the crying, I can't help it." I cried until the evening when the cartman appeared. When he left, I ran after the mermaid. Again, I saw her slide and passed by me. She was still dripping wet. Before she could take off, I reached out to grab her, but I couldn't. She was so slippery that she slid out of my hand completely, and only a sequin from her tail remained in my hand. Her pearl necklace got caught on my hand and broke. She was gone. Oh God, what should I do? It didn't work out again, and I sobbed again. She had disappeared, but pearls kept falling on the path. I followed the pearls one by one. I was lost again. But this time, without asking anyone, I followed the trail of pearls and reached my house door, but this time from the first door because the room was on the left and the closet was on the right. The last pearl was also by the door of this very closet. My sobbing cries went to the sky. I had been tricked. Did you see what a trick she played? But how? She can't have gone into my closet, can she? A closet whose door is so broken that I have just opened it. Really, why haven't I opened it? Could it be? No, maybe yes, I opened it. I became quiet. I couldn't even make a peep. I couldn't even budge from my place. My closet was not a closet at all. Except for that shelf on top, the rest wasn't a closet. Instead, it was a window that I had never seen before. A window overlooking the southern sea, and my dear mermaid slept at night on the shelf above my closet. So that's why my towel that had a place on the shelf was constantly soaking wet.